Hey everybody, thank you for continuing in this training course on biblical leadership. The title of this video is Church Leadership Roles in the New Testament, Part 4, and it's Part 4 of 4. In the last session, we saw the distinctive role of the elder and the eldership team. But then we want to ask, how does a person become an elder? How are they recognized? How are they set into place? Let's take a little look at recognition and ordination. Acts 4, verses 21 to 23. They, and that's referring to the apostles, they preached the gospel in that city and won a large number of disciples. Then they returned to Lystra, Iconium, and Antioch, strengthening the disciples and encouraging them to remain true to the faith. We must go through many hardships to enter the kingdom of God, they said. Paul and Barnabas appointed elders for them in each church, and with prayer and fasting committed them to the Lord, in whom they had put their trust. Titus 1 verse 5. The reason I left you in Crete was that you may put in order what was left unfinished, and appoint elders in every town as I directed you. Elders are appointed, we sometimes use the word ordained, by apostles or apostolic representatives. Before this happens, it's most likely that those who are called to eldership have already been recognized by the congregation and by the eldership team, because the congregation is a witness to their lives. The qualifications of an elder are visible characteristics. We'll look at that in detail later. So the congregation should be able to easily affirm their qualification, not necessarily their calling, but that they are qualified. The apostolic team are then called in to help the eldership team chat about that, and they'll typically come and meet with the potential elder, just see what they're sensing as well, and then agree or disagree. Sometimes we would say, maybe we need a little bit more time. Let's just work on this area of the person's life as they journey into this. Because this is a very significant role in the life of the church. We want to do this well. We also want to have skilled elders, not just God-ordained elders, but we want to have skilled elders in our congregation. So for this reason, we want to train. The best text that I can think of in training of elders is found in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2. 2 Timothy 2:2. And the things that you have heard me say in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to reliable people who will also be qualified to teach others. Leaders in the early church were typically disciples of their leaders. Paul trained and discipled Timothy, and he urged Timothy to train up reliable people who would in turn train others. There's tremendous wisdom in following this disciple-making pattern, or in situ, on-the-job training. When we're trained in our context, we learn from our leaders in the context of our congregation and our community and the cultures in our community. This is not to say for a moment that Bible colleges and seminaries are wrong, not at all. All leaders need to have a good grounding in the scriptures, and a reputable Bible school is a fantastic place to learn. But leaders and elders in particular need to deal with a very broad range of responsibilities, and some of these are not clearly covered in scriptures and are often not covered in Bible school. For example, how do we manage the finances of our church? What's a wise way to set salaries? How do we deal with lease agreements? What are legal and ethical requirements that we need to comply with in our context? These are far more easily led in a discipling relationship with one of our elders. Another great benefit of training and raising up leaders within a local church is that these leaders understand their context, their community, their culture. Urban churches, suburban churches, rural churches, and township churches can be quite different. Different communities have different cultures, different ways, so what works in one context may not work in another context. This is why when we move from one context to another, it's important that we spend time learning, being trained, adapting to the new context. We'll stop there for today. In the next video, we're going to look at biblical qualifications, starting with deacons. Please don't forget to make some notes, and please share your thoughts and your questions on the group. Bless you.